This is I Got Flow TV, and we're here with MMA Fight. I'm gonna let her introduce herself to you guys.
Hey guys, I'm Macy Chiasson. I'm fighting out of New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm with Avondale's Legends Boxing Club and Mid-City MMA.
Right, so you got some big things going on right now.
Yeah.
You're doing some big things. Tell the people that don't know you, that don't know of you, who is Macy Chiasson?
I mean, this kind of like, I've been fighting for almost 6 years now, and everything's kind of just come into play these last few months. I mean, it's been a good year, but it's the last 4 or 5 months of my pro career. It's been kind of crazy. I did my first fight with Invicta on Invicta 29 and won my second pro fight, unanimous decision. And then following that, a few weeks later, I got a call to try out for the Ultimate Fighter women's featherweight division. And a few weeks after that, I got the text message saying that I was in the house. So went out there for 6 weeks, no cell phone, no computer, no internet, no TV, no books, nothing, right? So it's just you in this house, you go train, you go back home, and you fight. It's an elimination, right? So if you win, you end up fighting 3 fights. If you lose, you still stay in the house and train. But it's been a crazy, couple of months.
So how was that experience?
Man, I can try and sit here and explain it to you, but no one will ever really understand unless you're kind of in that situation. The best I can describe it is almost like being under house arrest, But I feel like when you're under house arrest, you have books you can read and all that stuff. You don't have anyone to turn to, you're there with people you don't know. You don't have your team, you don't have your coaches, you don't have your friends, you don't have your family. And you're really fighting with demons. You're in your head the whole time. And the hardest part of a camp is training, right? But you also have your coach there to support you and tell you, what you're doing good and what you're doing bad with. But you don't have that when you're in the house. You have people who you can't trust. And fortunately, I made friends with people. But that's still not enough. When you have cameras in your face, there's no way out. So I think as far as the experience goes, it was an awesome experience, even though it sucked. Would I do it again? No. But I think it made me grow as a fighter and, even as a person to endure, go through that stress that I went through. And, I feel like I've definitely grown in 6 weeks from that experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's take it back a little bit. When was the first time you picked up some gloves, mitts, or you just felt like that MMA or fighting was where you needed to be in the octagon, in the ring? Tell us about that.
So I originally got into fighting. I started doing self-defense. There was a gym by my house, when I lived with my parents. I started when I was 18, 19. And, I went into the gym. It was fighting based. And I was first day I went, I was this is awesome. I kind of kept just going back. And then I remember sitting in the living room with my parents, and this was a year after I started training, and I was watching an Invicta fight. These 2 girls go at it, and I was like, dude, I could totally do that. I was like, that looks, that just looks like so much fun, And I've played sports my whole life, so super competitive. So I was like, I'm totally into doing that. And found a MMA gym, local MMA gym, got into that, had my first fight. First fight only lasted 50 seconds. And I was like, it's just like when you run a marathon, it's a runner's high. It's kind of the same thing for MMA. It's just it's the coolest feeling ever.
Right. So what brought you to the doorstep of Avondale Boxing and Fitness?
Well, a few years into my amateur career, I noticed that after a few losses, hard losses, I figured that I needed a little bit, something extra. And I knew boxing was, such an important aspect in MMA, even though, boxing doesn't have takedowns, but it's the angles. It's the angles and the footwork that helps you with all that stuff in MMA. So I was talking to a friend of mine, Stephen Hebert. Stephen Hebert is really good friends with Coach D, and he sent me here. He's like, if you want to go to boxing, this is the best place to go in New Orleans, and that's kind of how I ended up here.
Okay, so how has the progression, your training, how have you progressed even more training over here at Avondale Boxing and Fitness Gym?
I mean, since I walked in here, it's been night and day. Night and day. I mean, I've always had, okay strikes, which would be considered good in MMA. But I was always going in the wrong direction when I was punching, and that I really paid for that in a few of my amateur fights. And since I've been with Coach D, I mean, my first pro fight that I had and my second pro fight in Invicta, I mean, it wasn't even funny. I mean, just the striking in general was just on another level.
So you're saying your stand-up striking game has improved a lot since you came on board with Avondale Boxing and Fitness Gym?
It's improved 100% since I've come here to Avondale Boxing. I'm with one of the best coaches, around here.
What's Coach's full name so people can know?
Damian Duke Estrada.
There you go. Damian Duke Estrada at Avondale Boxing and Fitness Gym. That's the plug right there, man. Y'all come see us. I'm going to have to get it. What's the address? Okay, so we don't know the address offhand. Maybe someone can help us out with that. The address over here at Avondale Boxing and Fitness Gym. Somebody shout it out.
What's the address? Avondale Expressway. I don't know the number.
Highway 90 in Avondale.
There you go.
There you go.
Something like that.
Highway 90 in Avondale.
2800?
Look, don't worry about it. I'm going to have the address flash on the screen in just a moment. There you go. All right, so let's move ahead a little bit. And what do you have upcoming? What's next for Macy Chiasson?
I can't tell you guys.
Oh.
It's a secret.
Okay.
It's a secret.
Okay.
I can get in trouble if I tell you guys.
Okay, so let's step away from UFC. Okay, let's step away from the show and all that, and let's dive into like what are some personal expectations on your life, your career that you have for yourself.
Right now, I'm just I'm basically back into a camp. I don't have anything coming up for a few months, but I'm back in a full camp. I'm training every day. And then this weekend I'll be moving to Dallas to start a new MMA camp. But Coach Damian's going to be flying out there. I'm going to fly him out there every Friday to stay until Monday so we can get some work in. But I'm going out there to work with some top-level UFC guys. Yeah.
So you're stepping away from your hometown.
Yeah.
You're traveling out. Like how does that? Okay, I know that has like that's like a gift and a curse. Mm-hmm. Because you get to get away from everything that you are comfortable with, and you have to step out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And then you create you create your foundation in a different place. Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, like you said, the pros, of moving. You don't. New Orleans is such a party city, and the food's so good.
Right.
Every weekend, my parents want to have people over and do this and that. And it is somewhat of a distraction, especially for, the fighting industry. I mean, you have to make sure your weight's good. You have to make sure that you're always on point the next day for training. So you can't be eating all this food and drinking and stuff like that. So, moving is going to be, I think it's going to be good for me, as far as growing as a fighter. And, I'm going to be able to really focus on camp, and not have all these, family and my friends and all other stuff going on. And I mean, the downside of it is that I don't have, the people that I'm used to, I grew with, the people I'm used to having around, like my family, like the people to turn to, But they're always a phone call away, they're always an hour plane ride away, so it's not that bad,
Okay. So we're going to bring this to a close, and we thank you. We thank you for the interview. And
thank you so much.
Great luck on what you have upcoming,
Thank
show
you.
and all.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Keep working hard. I got Flow TV.
Thanks, guys.